Good morning, everyone. My name is Scott Harris. I am the founder of Magnetic, a boutique brokerage right here in Manhattan. And I'm also the author of a best-selling book that's called The Pursuit of Home, which is what I'm going to talk about today, how it's relevant for you as a business person, as a caring salesperson, entrepreneurs. Why did I write this book? Well, I have done about $2 billion of sales, and I've also lost about double that, maybe triple that in business. And I have a lot of stories, but more importantly, I felt like I had a lot of wisdom to share with the world, specifically home buyers and real estate agents. I started to do some more research, and what I found out was actually quite alarming. I found out that 50% of home buyers have some kind of buyer's remorse. And even worse, I found out that 80% of new real estate agents leave the business before they're done 2 years in the business. I also found out that there's so many people out there who feel like they're never going to own a home. And home ownership is such an important part of the American dream. It is a pillar, it's a bedrock. So what's going on? That's the question that I was trying to answer. And through the writing of the book, I got really curious. And what I discovered, and what I believe to be true, is that home is not a transaction. Home is something much bigger than that. What home really is it's a hero's journey. Home buyers are the heroes of their journey. And this is an emotional journey. It's a psychological journey. It's a spiritual journey that people go through, that everyone is going through in their real estate journey, and no one is talking about it on social media, on reality TV. It's just these shiny, beautiful pictures of real estate. And there's a huge disconnect between what you see and what happens. And that, I think, is responsible for so much of the unhappiness after people buy a home, and I wanted to make it better. What's actually going on is that this is a transition. This is a transformation of who you are in the world. So real estate is actually much bigger than people give it credit for. And it's sacred work that real estate agents are doing. And I think it's time to elevate the real estate conversation to a new level. And I want to transcend the transaction. And what I really think an agent's job is to keep people out of their own way. To refer to what we were doing today about people, all the things they learned in kindergarten, it's actually to keep people from reverting to their worst selves when they screamed and kicked, and keep people from turning the home buying process back into a transaction, to elevate it and keep it elevated. Now, there are 3 discoveries that I've made, big discoveries over 20 years, and they're this. One is the power of home. What's possible when your home becomes the launch pad for the life that you're trying to create? I asked you, what does home mean to you? Well, if you have some answers that are very personal to you, that's what the power of home. It's going to be your partner in helping you support whatever you're trying to do in your life. The second thing is the power of relationship. What's possible when you have great communication between you and your partner and your real estate agent and the whole team of people that are helping you to move forward. Something incredible can happen that might not have been possible otherwise. And the third thing is the power of belief. What's possible when you believe in something that you can't see yet? When you have a partner that really truly believes that this is going to happen, and they're going to help you make it happen, even when you're scared and afraid and doubtful, and you've got lots of reasons why it might not happen. That's the power of belief. It all came together in what I call the magnetic method. What is the magnetic method? You activate your desire, you align everyone that's involved, you amplify that signal, and then you attract the home that you want. So let's unpack that. Activate. Activate is also known as motivation, getting you off the couch and into action. How many of you have ever had a New Year's resolution that didn't work out? It happens in real estate. You sit there and you look at Zillow and you get excited and you make your checklist and you get out into the open house, and then what happens? You cross your arms and you get scared and you slowly back away and you sit back down on the couch. And what we do is keep you inspired, keep you motivated, because it is a rough road at times. And you need someone to have that energy who's done it before to make sure that you don't end up back on the couch, but that you stay inspired. The second thing we do, and this is the most important work that real estate agents do, it's align everyone. Over 70% of people are buying as a couple. Now, how many of you are in a relationship? How many of you have a different communication style than your partner? That's so common. What align means, what aligning looks like as a real estate agent is not only to know as a real estate agent, to know my own communication style, what's my default communication style, but actually to have the listening and the skills to know what is the communication style of each of the people in front of me. How am I going to be able to deliver that information in a way that helps them feel seen and heard and understood? Because if you don't do that, you lose trust and then you end up with a bad result. But when you align everyone and you make sure that both people in the relationship have time to catch up with each other, have time to communicate what they're actually looking for, magic happens. And really one of the most important things that goes on is that space where people feel like they can talk about what it is they love. Because when you start out, you might have a checklist. And when I help activate my clients, they have this checklist, everything they want. Well, it's just a first draft. And then they get out into the world. How many of you walked into an open house and thought, oh, this is going to be perfect. It checks all the boxes. And then guess what happens? You hate it. Does that ever happen to anyone? I know the real estate agents here have certainly had that experience with their buyers. It's because they don't know exactly what they want. So making space for people to really start to learn and evolve their checklist is really important. Another word for your checklist, the one that starts to evolve and gets clear, is vision. The next thing is amplifying that signal. That means making offers, going and seeing more and more property, and really starting to communicate at a much deeper level. And this is the scariest part for people because they have to become more vulnerable. They have to be honest. Some people may think they want an open kitchen, but guess what? They don't. They want something different. They want something that looks a little different than what their friends have bought. They want something that's unique to them, that feels like home to them. And when we get past this is the most important step. This is where the magic really happens. A good agent and their superpower is to have belief in their client, to have rock solid belief that this is going to happen. Because how many people have been in a conversation where they're worried about mortgage rates? There's not enough inventory. They're losing bidding wars. Oh, there's the election. All of these things, all of these reasons that people give why it's not going to happen. But if you flip the script completely and you start with vision and belief, then something very different takes place, which is that you find a home right before you give up. Because your agent is holding that belief for you and holding it until you finally start to believe for yourself that this is possible. Now, I want to finish with a story about a client, about an agent in Westchester. she had this executive. They were looking for a house for a long time, and they had a good relationship, and she was showing property after property, but they couldn't find anything, and the buyer was getting very frustrated, and the agent was getting frustrated too. She saw a property that came up on the market, and she dismissed it because it was right backing up to train tracks. And that day, she got a call from her buyer. And the buyer said, I saw this great house online. It backs right up to train tracks. I want to see it. She said, well, I don't understand. Well, what she didn't know is that his son has autism, and he's obsessed with trains. And they bought the house, and his son is so happy, and they're delighted. And that's the kind of magic that happens when they had a great relationship, and they just needed to keep communicating. And suddenly, this house just appeared right before he gave up, right before she gave up on him. And we've been doing this for 20 years, and we're the number 9 team. Oh, sorry, you can go back. We're the number 9 team in Manhattan. We're the number 20 team in New York City. We're the number 126 team in the United States. Most importantly, we have 9 people that are amazing, one of whom is here today. And I want to leave you with one more thing. If agents do their job correctly, what happens is not that this American dream is going to be lost, but actually, it's not about competition. It's not about more agents and how much business you can win. Agents that are good actually expand the pool of buyers who are inspired to get off the couch, to get into action, to create a vision for what they would love, and then to find a house that's perfect for them. We're actually making it possible for more people to move forward in their lives, and that's what I love doing every single day. If you are a guest here, I have a book for you, and I want to give that to you. I'm happy to sign it. And if you're a BNI member, I'm delighted. I'm inviting you. You'll get this in your inbox. We have a launch party for BNI in 2 weeks, and I'd love for you to be there. We're going to do it at an art gallery downtown. And if you want to learn more about the book, you can scan that. We'll leave that up there. But thank you very much. Appreciate it.